Rio Hondo Prep football is one of the best kept secrets in all of Southern California. As one of the smallest enrollments year in and year out, the Cares have won 16 CIF championships and have been one of the most successful programs throughout their history. Welcome to A Charge to Keep, the official podcast of Rio Hondo Prep football. And now, bringing you the latest news and content from his alma mater, a CIF champion in 2001, from the class of 2003, here's your host, Matt Hersema.
What is up, Rio Hondo Prep football fans? It is good to be back with you once again. And rather quickly, I might add, the very quick turnaround from the first game of the season, week 0, and the post-game show. And then, boom, here we are again, just rolling right along, talking about the very next game, the upcoming game this Friday night. Technically week number 1, but it is the second game of the 2025 season for your Rio Hondo Prep Cares. We know how last week went. It's kind of weird when you build up one game for about 3 months or so, just with every episode, even though you're focusing on other things, the families of the players, maybe some patriotic moments, a little bit about Rio history, but you still got that first game on your mind. Well, that game is now behind us, and we're moving on. We're on rather quickly to the next opponent that will in fact be the Quartz Hill Royals, who are coming to us from the Lancaster area. When I first heard about this game, I thought, oh man, at Quartz Hill in August, that's gonna be a rough one up there in Lancaster, whether it was this year or next year when we go there for the home and home series. So it'll be a little warm up in those parts in August. So, but let's be thankful that this one is a home game this year and the second consecutive home game for the Cares to start the 2025 season. Before we get to a little bit about Quartz Hill and maybe some thoughts about this week's game, I just once again want to applaud the Rio faithful for their showing out last week. I thought it was a great crowd. It was electric. It was energetic. It really brought some energy, and I thought that was a likely difference in the game. Maybe not the difference, but definitely contributed to the performance of the boys. The atmosphere, I think, Care Park. Hey, it is what it is. It is our home field. And could it be bigger? Yes. Could it have some upgrades? Yes. But it is home for us. And as we've seen in the postseason the past few years, we don't get any guarantees that we're going to have home games. And if we do have home games, they may not even be there on our home field. Last year winning the championship at Arcadia High School was a lot of fun. But still, the point is, get out and show out for your squad. And I appreciate the alumni, the families, the other family members of extended family members, I should say, just Care Youth League people that were there. It was a really great turnout, and I think the environment, it's a fun place to be, man. When you talk about the playground for the kids, the snacks, the food, the smells, the drinks, the merchandise, everything's. You walk in there and you're like, yeah, it's Friday Night Lights in a small town, really, with that small town feel that is Rio Hondo Prep. So let's do it again. 3 of the first 4 are in fact home, but let's focus on this week is the second game of the season. And I want to get to Quartz Hill a little bit, talk about their game from last week briefly, talk about last season for them, because that really is all we have to go off of at this point of the season, minus last week's 48 minutes. But this is a football team that had a great season last year, and I'm going to get to more of that after our interview today as we wrap up the show. And so I want to get to our guests first, and the guest that I have not mentioned yet is none other than, 2020 graduate of Rio Hondo Prep, Jake Lyons. He was an offensive lineman for the Rio Hondo Prep Cares for a few great teams there, most notably in 2019, an excellent team that unfortunately fell short in the second round to Hooper Hills High School. I remember that game well. The Cares went 10-0 in 2019 and won a playoff game at home, and then had to go out on the road to Hooper Hills and lost a heartbreaker. Really tough game. I thought that team, I thought they really were going to go all the way. And we'll talk to Jake a little bit about all that. But, Alex Vasquez was on that team. He's still playing college football. We all know Jonathan Guerrero. That was his kind of coming out party that 2019 season. Some just outstanding football players on that team. A very young Ryan McCullough was a freshman on the 2019 team that played in that game. So some great football players, and Jake was an excellent offensive lineman. That line in 2019 was one of the bigger offensive lines we've ever had. They were tough, they were physical, they were nasty, and just because they were bigger dudes doesn't mean they didn't bring a little bit of the that Rio tenacity, that we see in our guys. So as I've mentioned before on the pregame shows, we're always going to bring on a guest, or at least that's the plan. I'm going to talk about the future opponent, the opponent for the game this week. And then we'll finish things off, of course, with an explanation point, excuse me. A few things that happened in our game last week from a rules officiating standpoint that I will get to. And yes, I don't want the phones to be ringing off the hook and just saying, Matt, the refs are bad. Tell me why. And, I'm gonna go into. I want to educate. Right. Like I said, it was the first game for everybody last week, but there were some difficult calls, we'll say, and hey, we benefited from some calls as well. But there was one or two plays that I want to talk about in that game that I think will be educational to everyone as we wrap it up for our pregame shows. But usually a guest come on here, talk 30, 40 minutes. Then we'll talk a little bit briefly about the guest, the upcoming opponent and the rules thing at the end. That's pretty much it. We already recapped the game from Friday. You guys know about, the whole Noah situation. We're going to see a lot of starting this game off, guys. Maybe some different guys touching the ball. I think this team is still figuring itself out. Only one game in, and what is their identity? Of course, they got that Rio Hondo identity, but every team is a little bit different. And this team, with just some new faces, you don't have the continuity of the offensive line that you've had in previous years. I think it's going to get together and just a lot of room for improvement. But to kick things off last week, I thought to grind it out, a gritty performance from our young man that found a way. And football, man, so many times that's what it's about. You have your script, your plays, you prepare and all that, but things don't always go according to plan, and you got to adjust and figure it out. And again, the beauty of the sport that is high school football. Well, I want to get to our guest today. Again, I mentioned Jake Lyons, class of 2020. He happened to be one of those, students at Rio Hondo that had to do a COVID graduation, a lockdown graduation, whatever you want to call it. The cars all lined up in there at Field One, I believe, and it was like a tailgate almost with everyone in their own car and honking horns and stuff like that, from what I remember. But that was 2020. June of 2020, and things were weird back then, but we're going to talk about Jake's football time there, which wasn't that long ago in 2018, 2019. Those 2 years were years where the Rio Hondo Prep had taken that step where they were like, all right, you're going to be placed in these divisions that are going to require you to play large public schools, and you can cry about it, moan about it, or you go out and compete. And these guys really set the tone there in 2018. I remember 2018, the playoffs, was it 17? Maybe it was 17. Anyway, beating Hawthorne High School in the first, beating Hawthorne and then losing to Artesia. Who else? Jack Van Cleef, current quarterback coach for Rio. I think he was on that team. I know there was Evan Four was in there too. So I may be crossing the years and everything, but just know that 2018, 2019, that time frame is right as Coach Carson took over, which I believe was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So as the head coach anyway. So a lot of what I'm saying is Jake was right there at kind of this transition, this beginning of something new. A couple years later, that would Charter Oak, beat Charter Oak in the playoffs. Years later, go win a Division 9 title, Division 7 title. So you've seen kind of the steps, right? And Jake Lyons was right amongst it all right there. There at his senior season. And fun fact, I have a kind of mild connection to Jake, if you will. Jake's uncle, Nick Fuentes, was a very good friend of mine, a teammate on the Glendora Gators. And it was Nick's sister, Shara, who ended up having Jake Lyons. What would that be? I don't know how many years ago, but she had him as a son, her and her husband, Peter. And I remember it's so funny growing up with people, and then they bring people into the world and you're like, oh yeah, I know your uncle. I know your mom. I know your dad. And just funny to see them coming to these games as a to Rio games after seeing Nick and I play in Care, and Nick went to Rio for a little while, and then he went to that Charter Oak place, But that anyway, all kidding aside, Nick, love you, brother. It's been a long time, and Nick Flynn is one of the great teammates I ever had in Care and in Rio. Wish we could have played a little longer, but fun to see the family legacy continue. And you'll hear a little bit about that, but mostly about Jake Lyons, his experiences at Rio Hondo, what it's meant to him. And, he just moved, in fact, to somewhere that you guys will see here in the interview that I did with him last week, that you're going to hear right now. But you'll see he's off to some new beginnings. And I thought it was a good time for him to talk about his journey and where he's at in life. And just learn a little bit about some of our alumni, a rather young member of our alumni who graduated from Rio just about 5.5 years ago. So happy to have him on to get us going on the second pregame show of the 2025 season. So sit back, relax, and listen to some memories of Rio Hondo Prep football from not too long ago. And then when I come back, I will have plenty to say about Quartz Hill, the week one technically matchup with the Royals coming up on Friday at Care Park in Irwindale, and then finish things off with an explanation. That's going to be hard to say for a while. An explanation point to finish things off here on the pregame show and let you guys go about your business. But first, here he is from the class of 2020 at Rio Hondo Prep, Jake Lyons. All right, now joining us from the great state of Hawaii, right there on the sitting on the ocean, literally, is 2020 graduate of Rio Hondo Prep, Jake Lyons. Jake, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? Doing good. Doing good.
It is, we've had the podcast go all over the place internationally and to some other places around the country, but I don't know if we've done an episode from Hawaii before. What are you doing out there?
Just moved out here for school, so I'm going back to school. I'm gonna be studying sports management, trying to become like a sports agent. So it should be good.
Oh, wow. That's really, really cool. Man, so was this always, because you graduated in 2020,
Yes.
played football for Rio in 2019. So what was this always in the cards for you?
So yeah, coming out here after high school was definitely in the cards. Because I got in here. Basically, my mom was like, why not apply? If you get in, you get in. I was like, okay, if I get in, I'm gonna go. But then the whole COVID thing happened. So I was like, okay, well, we'll take some time off. We'll start working. But yeah, now it's coming full circle, coming back to it.
Well, I want to say something about your mother and your family right now, because there is a little history. I'll let you respond when I kind of finish it all up. But your mother, Shara, she is sister of a very good friend of mine, Nick Fuentes, who I went to Care Youth League with, went to junior high at Rio with. Nick went on to Charter Oak School that we won't, we don't need to talk about them. But my good buddy Nick, great times, so many times spending the night over at his house when we were kids, and I knew Shara well. Your father Peter, of course, because they were dating back then too. So a little connection there to the Lyons family. He's my good friend, but that's Uncle Nick to you, right?
Yes, exactly. Uncle Nick. Yep. Always. I rep 42 in Care because of him. Yeah. So he was 42 all high school and everything. So I rep 42 in all Care. All my Care jerseys were 42 because of him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. When I see 42, and it's no knock on anyone else who wears it. But I'm the same way. I think of 42. That's my buddy. That's Nick. That's Nick Fuentes.
Yep, middle linebacker. Yeah. Coming in hard. Yeah. 42.
That was my guy, man. He was the best player on our team, usually the Glendora Gators, and we had some phenomenal times playing ball. So I know the family great. Your grandparents there, Nick and Mr. and Mrs. Fuentes. Yep. But it was great watching you play football, Jake, not too long ago. I mean, that was such a great game. The 2019 playoff loss to Harupa Hills. I know that one hurts, but you had a pretty good run, man. You had a pretty good run.
Yeah. So both honestly, all 3 years we had good runs. We played big schools. Like my sophomore year, I broke my leg against Poly, and we went on to beat Azusa, and then we lost against Orange. So we lost to a bunch of schools that later on they played them, and it was good. It was a good time. But yeah, so we lost against Orange. That was a hard game. That was my sophomore year. Then junior year we lost against Artesia in the
Oh,
quarters. Big school. We beat Hawthorne before them though, so that was good. But yeah, Evan Ford throwing a tip pick in the end zone against Artesia. But yeah, Evan's
that
my
comeback
boy,
was
so
legendary.
yeah, it was great. So and then then my senior year we lost against Harupa. That was just a mean game. They were dogs.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that was what I think about your era, and I talked to kind of Evan about this, and you think
mhm.
of Brandon Davis and guys like that
Yes.
that was right around the era where Rio started to stand up a little bit to these bigger schools. Yes,
Yeah.
we lost to Orange, we lost to
Hmm.
Harupa Hills and Artesia, but we
Yeah.
were competing in these games, and
Yeah.
it was intense at a different level of football. So, did you guys feel at the time that you were kind of in a new era of Rio football?
Yeah. So actually, me, and like, well, we always talk. We're like, we were Mr. Carson's test subjects, pretty much, like playing the big schools, and we loved it. We like he had faith in us, so we took it. Like that, we played Arroyo my senior year too, so that was the
Hmm.
Arroyo game too. That was big, and we had a chip on our shoulder because it was this big school. They think they're all cocky going into it, and Mr. Carson's like, hey, don't matter. Wait, David Goliath. That was the best that we would go through that every week pretty much. It's David Goliath. Doesn't matter. We could be here. So it was great. Yeah, it was a great time, and he had so much faith in us. It helped us. It helped us play better too.
Yeah, the constant chip on our shoulder is the
Yeah,
Rio Hondo thing nonstop.
I
It
loved it.
just it never gets old. But I will say about your class, Jake. Well, not necessarily your class, but your
Hmm.
offensive line. You guys were
Yeah,
one of the bigger offensive lines in Rio history. I mean, we're
yeah.
used to little guys up there. Talk to me about that group of guys you played with.
So it was me. I was sitting at 270. Morgan Carhart was about 290. Brandon Davis 280, 290. Dean, we had Dean Minter transfer over. He had to sit out half the year, but he came in halfway through, played it. John Fryhill was our center. He was good, like 215, 220. And then our small guy was Jaden Sanchez and Derek. Those guys would sub in, be our like guards and stuff, our pulling guards. But yeah, we had heavy sets on tackles for sure. Like our
Dude,
tackles were our tackles were beefy.
it's no wonder little tiny Jonathan Guerrero had so many yards running by.
It
You
was
couldn't see
so
him.
much fun. Yes, yes. Yeah, JG, he loved our line for sure. And like so, Derek would be our pulling guard, and he would just run right behind him, and Derek would take on two guys for him.
Outside of JG, who else were some of the running backs? I mean, I know Esquiaki,
Yeah, we
but
had
other guys. So who are some
Eskiaki.
of the guys you love blocking for?
Bryant, yeah. So Brian Flores was my
Brian
my.
Flores.
He's still, yeah. We still talk every day. He's my dog. He just got hurt senior year, so that's how JG got into the mix because he was a little freshman, or I don't know if I think he was a sophomore maybe, but yeah, he wasn't supposed to play because Bryant was a senior, everything like that, and then Bryant got hurt I think 3 or 4 games in, and then JG had to strap up and he had a big shoes to fill for sure. But yeah, so that's what basically got him into it.
Yeah,
So
he stepped
yeah,
in. He stepped in as a sophomore and never looked
yeah,
back. And
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
when you talk about the great running backs in Rio history, I mean, Jonathan Guerrero is definitely right at the top of the list.
Yes, yeah, and we were at the start of that, so it was, yeah, I loved blocking for him because he would find the hole because he was just so tiny and he would just make, yeah. You just had to block your assignment accordingly, and it was great.
And I want to talk about two of your, we'll call them more famous teammates there
Yeah.
from 2019. Both of them we've
Hmm.
seen out doing bigger and better things really at higher levels of athletics.
Yes.
Ryan McCull and Adam Pananeri. I want to talk
Yes.
about Adam first, the maniac, the crazy fighter that he is.
Love it.
I know you and some other of his teammates are always out there
Yep.
supporting him
Heck
in
yeah.
his fight game stuff. Talk to me about Adam and hanging out or watching him compete.
Yeah. So basically, he's definitely a big reason why I'm doing basically sports management is because he's doing the fight thing and everything like that, and I kind of want to become like maybe his manager later down the road. But yeah, he's doing great things. He's messing people up. It's been good for him. And he's on a good winning streak. He's put in the work for his whole life. So now it's finally paying off, and it's going to be paying off for sure later on.
Yeah, Adam and the Peninari family, they are truly special people. And, Noah obviously is incredible on the field and everything. Playing alongside Adam as a football player, what was that like? We talked about the fight game, but just Adam as a teammate.
Straight dog, basically. Laguna Beach, we had a big game against them, and he dislocated his thumb midway through the game. And he came running off, hand in the air, thumb up, and ran to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson set it back in place, taped it. He ran back out 3 plays later. We were on defense. It was a big drive, so he had to get back out there. So yeah, his thumb was fully dislocated. My parents were on the side, like in the stands. They're like, "Oh my gosh, oh my goodness!" Like it was a gnarly dislocation for sure. But yeah, he got back out there right after like 3 plays. Yeah, got taped up and good. So it was definitely he's a grinder for sure, and he does that in everything in life.
That does not surprise me at all.
No.
That sounds just like him. And then you see him now in the fight world, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. Just a tough, hard nosed football player at RHP. Yeah, I had no doubt about that. And you guys have a blast. It sounds like some of the video you post. You guys get really fired up watching him fight in his Muay Thai events or MMA.
Yes, yeah, we go and we just it's a great time just seeing one of your brothers basically just go to war, and you get so like before his fight, me whoever's there, Bryant, Morgan, we just get nervous before it because we're like we have pregame jitters and we aren't even fighting, and a lot of it is too because they're up in like so a lot of his last fights have been up in NorCal, so we're in enemy territory, so it's all this this people's home crowd, like home fans. So we're the only ones there, and we have no one else there. So we're just like we got to be as loud as they are because we're fighting them. Like it's basically it's a 1v1 right now. So
That
that's how it
sounds
goes.
that sounds familiar, bro. Going up into enemy territory and being outnumbered and things. I've heard that somewhere before. And speaking of Northern California, I mean Ryan McCullough playing ball up at Cal Berkeley, looking to have a big year his junior season this year. You got to play with Ryan when he was a freshman, and you guys were seniors. What can you tell me about him as a freshman? Did you guys know with his talent and his skill level that this guy's going to be really special?
Yeah, he just worked. So even as a freshman, we were like. He would be in the weight room, and we didn't hit the weight room that hard because we were just our bodies hurt, we were sore, but no matter what, he was just always working, and yeah, his mentality was different. So from as a freshman, we're like, okay, he's different for sure. We knew it, we could tell, and I just saw him during the summer when he was out here, and yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I've been hitting the gym, I've been working out. He put on like. I think he said like 10 pounds of like, just 10 pounds on. He's bulking up. I was like, and he's looking good.
Yeah, he does look good, and we saw him in person last year at a Cal game. But I'm really excited about him this season and being a pass rusher. I think big things are coming for him for sure. Jake, what else have you been up to? I know you moved to Hawaii there for school. What else have you been up to the past few years after RHP?
Well, like what everyone does, if they don't have the competitive side, get into golf. I got into golf right after high school. Got my game decent enough to play. It's been good. So I'm gonna have my club shipped out here soon, so I can play out here for sure. But yeah, that just I was working for my dad doing sales, do like environmental consulting, so lead asbestos mold testing. So I was doing that for the last 4 years pretty much, and then I was working at the brewery too for my uncle.
Uncle Nick.
Downtown Upland near Cookies and Pints. We have it's right in downtown. It's a great place.
Yep. Uncle Nick doing big things, a big business owner over there. Well, sounds like you've got some great role models as far as the business world and everything. What exactly do you want to study and do after college?
So yeah, I want to do the sports management side, become an agent maybe for like the area. So because I don't want kids I want everyone in the area to be able to get a good contract and be good, have a good life, like because I feel like a lot of these agents and stuff like that are basically not thinking the best interest for their clients and stuff. So I want to help out as many people as I can with that.
Well, it sounds like you're the right man for the job. Yeah, in today's world of everything, it is a crazy time for sure. Man, and to go to school at Hawaii, it's going to be a definitely a good time. Let's see,
Yeah,
what will 6 hours? Let's see, RHP kickoff. What'll be 4 p.m. on Friday nights for you?
perfect. Yes, it'll be done at like 6, 7 maybe. Probably early. So I'll have all night for sure.
How closely have you been following this football team the past few years? Have you got out to some games? You watch it a lot online. What's kind of been your fandom like as an alumni the past few years?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because like Noah and all those guys, Rain Pollock, they were on my Pac-12 team when we coached in high school. So I love watching him like because Rain would not want to be like playing football too much, and now he's a he's a he's a great athlete in football. He's a big guy making crazy catches. And Noah too. Noah was the same. He was a dog in middle school. So nothing's changed there. Just have that he's gotten bigger and he's just matured too. So and we coached against all those kids too, like Yannick, all them, Colodro. I coached against them, so we would set up a game plan to like figure out how to get the ball around them pretty much. So it's great watching them. Now they're all grown up, and I feel like an old head now watching them. But yeah, so I went to the state game last year, and I went to the championship game last year too. So it's so much fun watching it.
Now, being a recent alum, we'll say, anything less than 10 years really to me is recent. Not that long ago, 2020 graduation. What's it been like to see the first year is the hardest watching, the guys play and you're not out there anymore. It gets better. It's still hard. What's it been like? I mean, you've been out of high school only a handful of years, but to see where this program has gone, it's got to kind of be bittersweet, but at the same time, you just got to be overjoyed with the growth of it all.
100%. Like I said, we were the test subject, so it's great seeing like Mr. Carson getting his pay. Like what he put in is finally paying off. Like it's so great to see that for him and for all the coaches too. Because like AJ and JT, they were my Pac-12 coaches in middle school too. So it's like getting to see them like grow as coaches too. It's just so great to see. Like it makes me happy like to see all that for sure.
Well, what about Coach Carson? He took over around your time or sometime in there as the head coach,
Yeah.
maybe your sophomore year. And, he's really led this team. I think that no one ever had a doubt that he was going to be the next head coach. But what he has done these past, I think, 8 or 9 years is nothing short of amazing, incredible, whatever adjective you want to use. You guys were his, quote, test subjects. What was it like playing for Coach Carson? And kind of what does he mean to you to this day?
He's definitely one of the best role models I could have ever asked for. He's definitely shaped me into like a better man that I am today, like the best man I am today. Because just how he just showed us life, and we traveled to Europe with him too. So he was our Europe guide, and it was just great to see how to be a man, pretty much. That's what Rio and Mr. Carson, all them have taught me how to be.
Yeah, the role models and the coaching and the leadership that you get at Rio is second to none. So it is it's just a great experience. What about, I always ask parents this or try to ask them to pitch the idea, but just your time at RHP, how busy you are, all the different things that you had to go through, or whether it's coaching or the music department, the classroom, there's a lot going on that you have to balance. Did you find that experience at Rio helped you prepare for maybe some of your adult life pretty quick?
Yeah, definitely for sure. Time management is the biggest thing for sure. And like it's definitely shown because right after practice, you gotta figure out your ride to Care Park or figure out your ride to Wingate. And if you don't have that, then it's not gonna last. So it's definitely it's helped me figure out life. Like I need to get myself right to get everything right. So it's definitely helped. Yeah.
That should be, sorry to interrupt. That should be a shirt.
No.
I got to get myself right to, what was it? That was a nice.
I gotta get
phrase.
myself right to make everything Feel, yeah, be right. I can't remember what I just said. Sorry.
That's a good one. I like it. Yeah, man, I think honestly there's days I miss Rio. I mean, I don't miss the homework and all that stuff, but just being with your friends almost all day, all week, and there's nothing like it. Now have you found, I mean, you talked about some of your other classmates you still hang out with. I mean, it does get harder, right? As you grow older and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, we had it really good together at Rio.
No, yeah, for sure. And that's why, like, so Bryant, Adam, and Morgan and Evan, they're all still my closest friends today. Yeah, we just don't see each other like every single day of the week. We try to get in at least once a week, or sometimes we go 2 weeks and don't see each other. But it just depends. But yeah, it definitely missed that for sure. Being able to just mess around and during school day and then get to go home and play video games with them all night. Like it's yeah, for sure it's different.
Well, what kind of back to the broadcast? I know you went to
Hmm.
the game, a few games in person. The broadcast on the NFHS, obviously the podcast and everything keeps guys in the loop really. And so, as someone who's a full ocean away now, I'm sure you're going to really count on the broadcast and just as much Rio content as possible over the next few years.
For sure. Yeah, and like Clark and them their broadcast is great. The what is it? Their commentating is it's for sure great commentating and everything like that. I love watching and listening to it for sure.
Isn't it crazy, man, to see where this program is at? We got a broadcast team, we got national audience. I mean, and it's just like, wait a minute, we used to just this tiny, and we still are. Nothing's really changed except maybe a little bit of the notoriety, we'll say.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Yeah, who wait, oh, you can watch. You don't have to go to down to Care Park just to watch the game. Like, oh, you could stream it wherever you want. Like, yeah, it's so great. And honestly, the streaming platform is huge for sure. It's such a benefit for sure.
Yeah, it's been a real game changer. As far as Real Hondo and kind of, I know football was probably king when you were there, just like anything else. But what were some of the more fun memories that you have now as a guy in college that I don't know, either specific memories or favorite parts of Rio? You mentioned the Europe trip, just any,
Hmm.
or maybe list off a few of the favorite things you enjoyed going through Rio Hondo Prep.
Yeah. So honestly, all the trips. So I went on 3 trips, and I traveled. My first trip was in junior high, and I didn't even go to Rio yet. I was still in public school when I was in middle school, but they gave us option if we were in care we could go. So that was a 4 week trip, I think, or 3 weeks to the from Chicago back home. So that was in seventh grade, and that basically like sealed the deal to for me to go to Rio. And then I took one sophomore year. We went to Florida, and then all the way up, and then to Chicago. So I've traveled all the U.S. with Rio. So it's been I've learned so much of life just because of that, and then Europe alone too. You like going to Europe. No 24-year-old can say that they've traveled the world, and I can say I've traveled the United States and the world. So it's definitely something I definitely don't take it for granted, just because Rio's shown me like the world basically.
Yeah, that's the irony of when people say, "Oh, you go to a little school, you're not going to get to experience what the real world is like," or whatever it's say. Yeah, okay, fine, but
Uh, I've experienced it tenfold. So yeah,
no doubt about it.
yeah.
When you watch today's team, or this year's team, and by today I mean just the recent team, the past few years, what is it that you see that makes them so successful? There may not be just one thing, or maybe it's based off of your experience, or maybe you see something different or similar, but what is it in your eyes that keeps Rio Hondo going and making them successful the past few years?
Discipline. That's basically the one word that pops into my head, right when you say that, because that's what Mr. Carson instills in you. Discipline. You don't jump off sides to get minus 10 yards, whatever. If you have discipline, you win football games. And these guys show that they have discipline, and they know their blocking assignments. They just know their game, and they know how to deal. Like they know how to show out with their game. So, and the discipline that they have around behind that it shows. So seeing them knowing everything that they're doing pretty much.
Yeah, they're fun to watch, and I like it's hard in today's age to stay humble, to keep that real Hondo attitude, especially the more press clippings and things that you get, so it's a fine balance of promoting the program because we want it to be big and big and really a huge deal out there in the SGV, but it's not always easy to
Mhm.
it's a fine balance. You also telling the kids be leaders and to be humble servants. So, but that's why it's different at Rio, right? It's just different, the attitude and everything that you do.
1,000%. And like the Rio that Rio's in the top 10 in the SGV. Like I watch Fred. I have Fred Robledo on Twitter, and I have Mark the Shark. I have all of them, and I just Rio Hondo Prep just keep popping up, popping up, popping up. And like the last 3 years, they've been like hesitant to give Rio their props. And then the last few years they haven't, but then the last 2 years they're like, okay, we gotta give Rio their props because they it's it's in the proof. The proof is in the pudding, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like Rio instills it into that. They make great athletes, and they make a great, what is it? Just a great program all around.
Mhm. Well, it's interesting that like the tradition has always been there over 8 man, early 11 man, your era, kind of that separation at time where we're kind of starting to step up games, if you will, and now the success here, it's like it's always been there. It's just kind of been this slow build, this sleeping giant, if you will. And yeah, I think the media guys are starting to really say, man, these guys are for real. These guys are doing something special, not just this year, but their history. And I've been pushing hard to get them, just get them some more notice. And I think I'm not having to do as much anymore. It's more like you said, the results speak for themselves. You don't have to say Rio Hondo who anymore to people out there.
Not at all. Yeah, and like, yeah, I could. It's if someone asked me, oh, where'd you go to high school? I'm like, oh, Rio Hondo Prep, and they're like, oh, okay. Like a few years ago, they wouldn't know because it was just a smaller school. Like, and they had a lot. We had I think the second largest championship in the SoCal, but still people just didn't know it. But now when you go back to back, people know. Hey, people know what what real is. So Rio Hondo Prep is the realest out there.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the names with all the other schools, on the lists of like the big programs, and it's like there we are. And I think we've earned that position really. Speaking of kind of other schools, I like asking, especially guys like yourself who just recently played. Like, who are some of the schools you would love to see on Rio's schedule someday? Not bad blood or anything, just kind of like we'd like a shot at those guys.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in San Dimas, and so I love, and my brother went to San Dimas and Bonita, so I would love to see Bonita. Bonita's up there, so that might be a few years, but San Dimas is definitely we could compete with San Dimas for sure. Even Glendora, like we playing them. Glendora's a big dog too, but I would love seeing Glendora, San Dimas, any of those. But yeah, if San Dimas played Rio, I would fly back for that for sure,
There you go.
just to see
Hey,
that.
yeah, your brother. Funny story. First of all, Bonita and San Dimas. The Smudge Pot is an awesome rivalry game. For those that have never been or seen it, I know if Rio's playing, that's your priority. But even if you're not close to those two schools, you got to get out to that rivalry. It's a huge game every year, both communities. It goes way back. Your brother played on both sides of it, which not many people do. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, it may have been the first. I think it was the first game he transferred. He went to the San Dimas first, right? And then Bonita?
So he started out San Dimas, went there freshman year, started sophomore year, and then started junior year, and then he had a thing with the
Yeah.
coaches, whatever, and then so then he was going to transfer to Upland, but then they contested his transfer, so then they're like, well, you can't go there, you can go back to your school or the same district. So then he's like, oh, okay, well, Bonita's in the same district, so he went to Bonita, and then they won the Smudge Pot like that season too. So he won it for San Dimas and Bonita. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. His brother, his name's also Jake, isn't it?
Yeah. So his name's Jake
Jake
Payton. Yeah.
Payton.
Yeah, he's my brother too.
So it was funny because I was actually refereeing the game. I think it was the first game he played for Bonita. It was a big deal. I think they were playing San Dimas, right,
Yeah,
for
it was
the
at
opener.
Citrus. Yep. Yeah.
So it was at Citrus. So I was officiating the game. I was talking to Nick, of course, before it all, and then I just kind of go back. I was the deep official, and I was back there with Jake on one of the punt returns, and I'm just kind of sitting back there looking at him and say, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like I said, "Hey, I played ball with your." I don't know. He probably doesn't remember this. I was like, "Yeah, I played ball with your with Nick back in the days." Like, oh, really cool. And we just kind of looked up at the stands and found your family. And I was just like, "Wow, this is what a small world this can be sometimes. Just
Yeah.
where you end up." So yeah, that was a fun game, fun experience.
Yeah, for sure. So I was in fifth grade when that happened. So yeah, he only had like I think barely a week of practice before that because he couldn't practice because of the whole CIF
Yeah,
rules.
yeah, transfer thing.
So yeah, he had 3 days of practice, I think, and yeah, then he just went straight out there that week. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a wild storyline, and then I'm like, oh, I know the people involved in this. This is crazy. So yeah, that was big news. Can't believe, man, you were in fifth grade, so that was
Yeah,
oh, that was a
yeah,
while
fifth or
ago.
sixth grade. Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah, he graduated, I think, 2012. Yeah.
Oh wow, this shows you how old I am now. But wow, yeah, good times. And again, the smudge pot. I don't know if it's at Citrus this year. I heard Mount Sac, I think. But anyway,
Maybe.
what
Yeah,
they used
Citrus or yeah, the district field sometimes it just depends for sure.
They used to play it at each high school, and it just got too big and too many people. It's a huge crowd, huge game. I like when they play it at Citrus. So yeah, one of the great rivalries in all of the SGV. So you mentioned, but San Dimas. I've always said Glendora, San Dimas, Northview. I think I got Northview connect, ties with my family. So kind of like I'd love to see that game anywhere really. On the what would that be? The east side of the 605 freeway. I think there's a lot of great opponents there that Rio could play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Northview. So I watched Northview last year because my cousin was playing there, or he was playing at St. Nevis, playing against Northview. They're scrappy. They're good, but yeah, I think Rio could out discipline them enough because like they would do some they would have some mess ups on like some bad penalties, but I think Rio could beat them because of that, just the discipline alone. But yeah, I think it would be a great game to see for sure.
Well, and I'm not here to, sit here and
Oh yeah,
we beat all these schools. I don't want to be that guy. I just
oh
saying
yeah,
it would be great to compete with them and be great to see where we're at. Northview runs the ball. They got a huge, nice big O line. It would just be fun to see, hey, Rio can compete with some of the better schools. I can't see us ever getting blown out really by some of these schools. It's any given Friday, I guess anything could happen. But that's just been my argument is like, okay, maybe Rio isn't the most elite team out there, but we can compete with some of these guys. We can be in the game, in a dogfight. And as you know, when David and Goliath get together, anything can happen. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, absolutely. And like, this is it's gonna be a great test for sure. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, sure is gonna be a
no,
good one. And then yeah, the schedule looks really good this year for sure.
yeah, we are obviously recording this before the Sure game, but yeah, there's just so much excitement going into that game.
Yes, yeah,
And look, as we look back at the game now, as this is released, it'll be interesting. But I think Sure is a fantastic week
it's
zero
a great matchup.
opponent for us for sure. Let me see here if there was anything else. As far as being out in Hawaii, in which island are you on again?
Oahu. So it's where Honolulu is. So the big international airports here. Waikiki, all that stuff. Dole Plantation is on the North Shore right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot going. I still got to get out there. Got to get out to Hawaii someday. What a life you live, man. Rio Hondo Preps. Have a few jobs over the years, and now I'll go to Hawaii. I'll go to school in Hawaii for now that now that I got some time to do it. Man, that's really cool, man. Is that just kind of the only? Well, you said you just applied, right? But yeah, was that really the only other school you thought about going out to?
No, so I got into a few other Cal States. I got San Marcos. I got Cal Poly too as well. Where
Nice.
else? Yeah, right after high school, I got into all those. But I got my heart set after I got into Hawaii. I was like, well, I kind of really just want to go there again. So yeah, it's a great
No.
opportunity that I have to come back out or to come out here and to do this for sure and pursue what I want to do.
Well, best of luck to you, man. I think you're gonna be very successful no matter what you end up doing. Jacobs, we'll wrap it up here. If you could, I just want to talk about Rio football. any direction you want to go with it, what it means to you, why it's special, and why it continues to be special. Just kind of, what is it that makes, and for us alums who, yeah, we played there once, but you still care about it, even though, eventually you may not know the kids there that are playing and everything. But if you could, just kind of your sum up of Rio Hondo Prep football, why it's successful and why it is so special.
Yeah, for sure. Terra Youth League, I think, is the one of the setting stones of why Rio Hondo Prep is so great. I started when I was in kindergarten, and I learned I didn't like all the sports. Basketball, I absolutely hated, and but my coaches, they told my parents he needs to just play it, just to play it, and that's what it teaches you is that it doesn't matter if you don't like it, you got to do it still because that's life, you know. So Rio Hondo Prep is, and taught me to you got to push through it no matter what. And if you, yeah, it might not be good at the moment, but you'll figure it out and you'll learn something later on for sure. And it'll be a lesson for you later on. And like playing, I had to play frosh basketball in high school. I didn't want to, but they're like, no, you have to play a sport. So half our team fouled out because we weren't good. But they're like, no, it doesn't matter. You have to play, and you have to stay in shape. So pushing through life is that it's taught me that, and Rio Hondo football is the best thing to do that too as well.
Very well said. Well, thank you so much, Jake Lyons, for taking some time out of your very busy day. It looks like with your office behind you there, you got the ocean. Wait, I think you could see Rio from there if you look out way far. I don't know if that's looking, yeah, way out there. But no, hey, it's been fun catching up, man. Best of luck to you, and we'll be chatting. We'll be chatting Rio stuff.
Sure.
I'm sure you'll be watching on Friday nights here in the fall.
Thank you.
All right, Jake. Talk to you soon, man.
Perfect.
Thanks so much, Jake Lyons, for catching up with me on the podcast once again. Great times, great memories from him and his teams back in the day playing ball for Rio Hondo Prep, as well as some good times with his extended family and things like that back. Man, Care Youth League has just been a constant for a lot of families out there, and Rio Hondo Prep, same thing. So hopefully we get some more great kids coming through the ranks. And the cycle continues, like it has for the Lions and Fuentes family there, as well as mine and so many others. So great stuff, Jake. Memory Lane is a fun place to go. Good luck to you out there in the great state of Hawaii. Looks like you're going to be having some good times while getting that education out there. So I know you'll be locked in and doing great things for sure. But anyway, it is now time to move on to look at the Quartz Hill Royals for again, as I mentioned, from Lancaster. Now, I know a lot of people may have rolled their eyes or whatever they said about of the loss last week to Mission Hills, 31-0 from Quartz Hill. But as Coach Carson mentioned, Mission Hills traditionally a very, very good team out of the San Diego area, I think. And what stood out to me was I looked, because that's only one game this season, and who knows if everyone was healthy or eligible or whatever the case is to get beaten up like that. And again, I always gotta pump up the games, yes, but I gotta make things right out here. I gotta make things, just try to give us some clarity. And what I want to say about the Quartz Hill Royals is what they did last year for their football team, I should say. They went 9-4. And again, last year, it's not the same kids, you lose seniors and everything, but I do think it is relevant, just as far as going in and just to kind of learn a little bit about the opponent. So, the Quartz Hill Royals, as I mentioned, went 9-4 last season. Of those 9 wins, 2 of those wins were in the playoffs. So, yes, that did in fact put them in the semifinals last year, the Division 9 semifinals. So they were, in the playoff, division that we were in 2 years prior. Beating Santa Monica, of course, but they weren't that far behind us as far as divisions go. They went, let's see, that would be a 7-3 regular season, and then of course 2 playoff wins and the playoff loss in the semifinals. And the team they lost to in the semifinals, the Highland of Palmdale. Yes, they did in fact go on to win the Division 9 Southern Section Championship. So the Quartz Hill Royals were knocked out of the playoffs in the semifinals by the eventual champion of Division 9. So that should tell you something there. And that game was rather close, 27-14. High school football, pretty good close score there. And so I don't know what to make of that exactly. Just know that this is a team that has made some runs before. They of course were in the semifinals last year. I don't know if they have a CIF championship under their belts or not, but let's give a quick look there and see if that has happened ever. But I will say a team that is in the semifinals the year prior, that says something about their program, and it's let me see, championship. Does Quartz Hill have championship? I don't think. Yes, Quartz Hill has won CIF championships, including the 2017 Southern Section Division 10 title and the the 2021 Southern Section D12 title. So that should tell you, again, recent championship success in the Southern Section for this team. So that's nothing to just look past, especially again with maybe some of the injuries Rio's gone through. And again, we're not quite sharp. We played hard last week. We found a way, but we weren't exactly sharp early on, and we got sharper as the night went on. But make no mistake about Quartz Hill coming in. Do not overlook them with that 31-0 loss to Mission Hills. This is a team that has won 2 CIF championships in the past 8 seasons. So keep that in mind, Rio Hondo. This is a team that is coming for you, and they will definitely be ready to play. And you guys know this, at any level of football, especially early in the season. You worked all summer. You did your first game of the year. You get your teeth kicked in, right? You have a lot to prove the following week, because your season's either going to go one or two directions. It's going to be a long couple of months of maybe getting blown out all season, or you're trying to think if that was a one-off or whatever, and just be like, no, we're flushing that game. That was not us. And so that is kind of my opinion without knowing a ton about this team. Just a little bit about their history. As I mentioned, they were in the semifinals last year and have won 2 championships in the Southern Section, albeit Division 12, Division 10. But hey, we had a lot of championships at lower divisions as well. So this is a team that will compete, and they will bring their A game to Care Park and Irwindale. That long bus ride will probably not have them in the best of moods. So I think Rio Hondo better strap up on Friday night. They better be ready to go, because as we saw last week with Sure, your opponent is not waiting around nicely for you to see what you can do. They are going to put their best foot forward, not worry about you. They're going to do what they need to do to be successful. So one thing I wanted to do here just real quick was to look at a few stats for the Quartz Hill Royals. Again, with only one game played, there's not a ton to look at, but I did see. Let me see. I did see that basically there were 2 guys that stood out. One kind of leading receiver, one leading rusher. Team that when you see guys or teams now that put the ball in the air every other play or this and that, you don't see a ton of big rushing numbers. Well, with Quartz Hill, let's see. Even though they got blown out last week, 31-0, probably a lot of things went wrong for them. I did see that they ended up playing 2 different quarterbacks. Each guy, let's see, those were top performers. Game stats. There we go. All right. Get it right, Hershman. Get it right. 24-25. No, that's still the wrong year. Hey, it's the second pregame show for me, guys. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'll get it right. I promise. I'll get better. I will get better at this stuff. But just making sure we're on the right year. Anyway, Quartz Hill, let's see. What is that? Light blue and yellow. So kind of like UCLA-ish colors, I guess we'll say. The Royals. Unique name. I like that. I like that a lot. And let's just restart. Sometimes Max Preps, man, I tell you, can be a little rough. But Quartz Hill. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Okay. So again, Rio Faithful, let's see you out again on Friday night, making a good appearance, good show out. I thought that was, again, phenomenal. And I don't know what's going to be on the menu, but I'll see what Dave Diaz is doing behind the scenes and see if we can get that info out to you guys on, social media. That always, I'm sure, helps you guys get and to kind of know where your donations are going, and also just the good food out there. Okay, so we had 2 quarterbacks play last week. Number 7, number 10, one junior, one senior. And they threw the ball 8 times, which isn't really a lot for high school numbers. That's kind of what we threw. I think we threw the ball 4 times or 8 times last week in our game against Sure. So 8 passes thrown. They completed, let's see. Oh, excuse me. I am incorrect. 18 passes thrown. That sounds more accurate. 8 completed passes. So not a high percentage there. No touchdowns, of course. They did have, let's see. They did have nothing really to write home about, honestly, with some of the pass completions. Their leading rusher, number two, K Smith, a sophomore, 68 yards rushing. That is Kamir Smith. Again, a sophomore young man that had 68 yards rushing on 14 carries. His longest was 12 yards. And when you look at the other rushers on their team with Max Preps, Houston, Larry, let's see, Nurse, all these guys. Each of them had maybe not a ton of yards, but when they touched the ball, their longest runs of the night were 12 yards, 12 yards, 11 yards, 8 yards. So a lot of different guys getting some real positive yards in the run game there. So I think we're going to see a team maybe that does run, in fact, maybe run the ball a little bit more than they did. At least in against this team. And again, when you get blown out, you can't really tell a lot from the stats. But last week they ran for 149 yards. They threw it for 74 yards. So that's kind of the tail of the tape, if you will, with this football team. So I don't know about highlights and things like that, but we're gonna get. Actually, well, there's no real Quartz Hill highlights in this manner because it's going to mostly be negative plays, but or probably not. No points scored anyway. Looks like Quartz Hill. Okay, I'm looking at it now. Ooh, double tight end. We do have a power running team. Little flex bone offense. Okay, I'm not showing it to you guys yet, but this is why maybe the rushing yards stood out. Yeah, we get a double tight end, 2 fullbacks, and then a very deep back. So we're going to be playing one of these boron type offenses from back in the day. I don't know if we'll see a ton of misdirection, but good sized line. Now we got some shotgun looks here with 4 wide receivers. So they do mix it up. They do mix up their looks, but they look to be want to be guys that want to run downhill. This was a 3rd and 20 in this situation. So of course that's why they're in the shotgun there. But and then defensively, well, they're giving up down on the goal line here, but yeah, some more 4 wide receiver looks. So it looks like a good mix of things with Quartz Hill. Looks like some very good athletes, good size out there on the in the film that I'm watching. So good height on some wide receivers. So our corners and safeties might have their hands full of jump balls and things like that. So again, just this is the first time I've seen this tape and just giving it a quick look here. This is just a Max Preps highlight film from the game. If you guys want to go look at that to kind of get a peek at them, it doesn't really translate as well here on the Zoom, but maxpreps.com should give you guys a little look there from Quartz Hill and their offense and a couple of defensive plays as well. Right there in the highlights of the 822 game against Mission Hills. They hosted them. They were the team in light blue and gold. Looked like a UCLA type uniforms coming to Care Park in Irwindale. So that's about it, guys. That's it. Again, I won't pull it up. Maybe in future shows, if the video is a little better, I'll pull it up and let you guys see. But I'm chasing daylight here, as you guys can tell with my lighting. I'm like dimming and doing this and that. Getting the lighting right, as I'm sure you guys have noticed with a lot of the shows. Sometimes I'm bright white, and other times I'm like really dark and everything. So when you do it in different rooms and different places, it's not always easy. But I am honored to do this each and every single week, and excited that we are back in the swing of it. Ran home from work today and threw this together, and it was like, all right, boom, let's go. Take it all down, put it back, rinse and repeat, baby. It's football time here in Southern California. So I forgot to mention, I wanted to do that. Well, you guys are going to hear this again Wednesday. So what I wanted to do, see when the pregame show's out Wednesday, I wanted to do like scores of the teams, our freshman team, our junior high team. When that all gets going, we'll definitely be able to list some scores off and things like that. So just stay patient with me as I'm. It's been a summer, man. Putting all this together and did all the little details, and then all right, I'll do the pregame show. I've done that a million times, and then you're just like, oh wait, what did I do? You're just winging it. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate that. But first, in closing for our man, see, I'm off the pregame show, week 1 pregame show with Quartz Hill. I want to end things with my explanation point from something that occurred in the football game on Friday night. Of course, we did see plenty of flags flying there on the field there at Care Park in Irwindale. A lot of penalties, some sloppy play. Yeah, there was some interesting moments, but one I want to really focus on was and then if we might as well give you the second one too. There was a situation. Again, they're easier to explain when you can have examples instead of just reading something out of a book. But there was a situation on Friday where Sure had 12 men on the field on defense, and they were in scramble mode. It was kind of, I will tell you, as an official, and each side of the football, it's supposed to be other guys counting, but it's just usually one guy, maybe two guys counting these teams on each side of the ball. And sometimes it gets chaotic, man. You're moving targets and trying to count, and then they're trying to run a play. You're trying to do your duties as well. So it gets rather crazy, and that's why sometimes it does look a little nuts. You're like, wait a minute, they had 12, and a lot of times it's almost like you process it. If you're on top of it as an official and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I used to count in threes, 3, 6, 9, and then plus 2, 3, 6, 9 plus 2, and then for to give you 11. And if it was like 3, 3, 3, 3, it was like, oh, that's an extra 3, or whatever. That's how my mind worked. But what happened was, if you can, as the official, and the defense has 12, offense has 12, they should never run a play. As soon as they go into formation, boom. And generally, it's not breaking the huddle with 12. If the officials deem you to go into formation, then okay, that's when they can pop you for that on offense. But the defense, they were running around trying to get guys on and off the field, and then they ended up participating with 12. Now, what is participating? Well, sometimes that's just in the judgment of the beholder, if you will. So if a guy's running off the field, they snap it. He didn't really participate, but at the snap, they had 12 guys on. I would probably go illegal substitution there. But technically, if a play goes off while there's 12 on the field, technically that's illegal participation. The big difference between illegal participation and illegal substitution is 5 yards. Illegal participation is 15 yards, which happened on Friday night. I was like telling Mark as soon as it happened, I go, hey, that's 15 yards. Make sure they go participation, not illegal substitution. And sure enough, the officials were on it. They took a little time, but it was kind of a rough, a significant situation in the game where Rio, it was down 3-0 first half, right? When we were driving. And I just remember, and Coach Carson was on. He's like, "Yeah, participation." And so he made sure to let the officials know, and but they were on it. They got it right, and that was a huge play, a significant play, because I think we may have gotten like 6 or 7 yards on the play. I'm not positive of this, so forgive me. I might have to ask some officiating friends. I don't see why you wouldn't tack it on, but I'm not sure it is a tack on penalty. I think it's a previous spot penalty. But if you think about it, you'd be like, well, if you participate, why that was illegal? That should be a tack on. Anyway, it worked out in Rio Hondo's favor. It was 15 yards because, in their opinion, yeah, there was participation, not just they lined up with 12 guys, because for safety reasons, for a lot of reasons, if you identify early on that a team has lined up with 12 defenders, you don't want to let that snap go off. Now you could say, wait, they were cheating. We want to get 15 yards. It's just philosophy wise, again, for safety wise, you don't want to snap the ball when one team has more guys than the other. Sometimes it's unavoidable, and you don't want the offense to be at a disadvantage where a guy's running off the field or something, and it's like, wait, we had them in scramble mode. We want to, and we're going to snap. The snap is kind of imminent type of deal. But in general, and Rio guys may be upset by this when it happens later in the season, if there's a scramble mode like that, they may shut the play down and just say, boom, no, substitution, 5 yards. We may not like it, but philosophically, that is probably the best thing to do. In college football, other levels, they've just got it where it's just, it's 5 yards each time, whether guys are running off or not. They just simplified it. But for high school, as far as I know, and what we saw Friday night, it was participation versus illegal substitution. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that is the point that needed to be made or heard. I don't know exactly how I'm going to end this or do this, but again, I'm just swinging it here. But that is your explanation point for the week 1 pregame show, and that will wrap things up for, again, the short shows that in general, unless it's somebody that I don't know, that really something, like a Tariq Fatel, maybe some other members of the media that I've talked to already about coming on here, or some other special guests will say. Not to say you're not special, Jake. You're very special. That's why I wanted you on here early on in the season. But I think you guys understand that a lot of this is going to be, some of it'll be repetitive. You're hearing from alumni who are going to be saying the same things about their experiences and everything. But it's not just about to hear that Rio Hondo commercial all the time. It's also to hear from our alumni what they're doing and how they're following the football team now that they're graduated, and what they're up to and why it continues to be special. So that's kind of the vision, at least for the pregame shows, kind of like you saw today, and of course last week with the first pregame show with Sure. But anyway, I'm out of breath, out of ideas, out of just a lot of things. It's been a long day. I'm not here complaining. I push forward. I'm ready. See you guys Friday night, bright and early. Dark and not it'll be bright. It won't be bright. It'll be the sun will be fading. So I don't know. But anyway, I see, as you guys can tell, I need some more caffeine or something or other here. Maybe just some sleep would help. But anyway, it's been a pleasure again being here on the podcast. The rhythm and the routine. I say it every year, but just once we get going, it's like, oh, it's a beautiful thing. And these 10, 11, 12, 14, 16 weeks, whatever they are, they're going to go so fast, guys. So do enjoy them. I'm already, again, I got my routine going, and I'm really, really happy about it. And I'm in a better place, man, when Rio Hondo football is going on. I don't know about you guys, but man, life's just better. It's probably football season in general, but just Rio Hondo football, man. It just gets you going. And so I'll be there ready to go on Friday once again, hustling from work like I'm sure everyone is. But that's a special feeling, right? Driving to the Rio game, whether it's at Irwindale or away on the Friday, that anticipation, that excitement. That's why we're doing these pregame shows, to give you guys something to listen to, whether it's Wednesday night, some point Thursday, or on the way to the game Fridays. That's what we wanted to do to kind of get things going for the Rio Hondo Prep faithful out there. All right, guys, enough from me. I'll see you there Friday night. Let's do it again. One more time. The Cares, who are 1-0, will take on the Quartz Hill Royals, who are coming off a tough loss, but will definitely be hungry when they come into Irwindale. All right, guys. In closing, as always, your friendly reminder, Rio Hondo football, humble in victory and gracious in defeat, because we always have a charge to keep.
A charge to keep I have, a God to glorify, a never-dying soul to save, and fit it for the sky. Arm me with jealous care, as in thy sight to live. And, O thy servant, Lord, prepare a strict account to give.